okay. I did pretty good. I think we'll call it a day there. Maybe go play some volleyball or something. Michael. What? Michael. What? You need the VOD review. So there are two parts to VOD reviewing. First, there's getting your initial review in, where you're figuring out what notes you need to work on. And in the second part, you're analyzing every VOD you have to see your mistakes and see whether or not you're making them less often. So let's go over part one. There are 4 steps. First, how to pick a VOD. Now, preferably your VOD will be from a high performance game where the scoreline is 13-8 or closer. And generally, if you look at your Valorant tracker, you want to be 3rd or higher. This is for 2 reasons. 1, in games where you perform well, you're less likely to make mistakes, so the mistakes you do make should be in every game you play. And 2, you want the game to be more than 20 rounds so that you have ample rounds to analyze in both halves. As for taking notes on the VOD, all you have to do is just write down every mistake you made. Now, there are a ton of things you could write down, but they generally fall under 5 categories: mechanics, game knowledge, game sense or intuition, comms, and mental. And all you have to do as you watch the VOD is every time you see a mistake, you write it down. If you're interested in joining a community of people who are also striving to improve in Valorant, join my Discord, link in the description. So now that you've watched the VOD through and written down all your mistakes, pick the 2 that occurred the most frequently. Now, if one of those mistakes is mechanical, I want you to make a practice routine that effectively targets that mistake, whether that be movement, crosshair placement, or raw aim, and then forget about it and just trust that the routine will make you improve. Now, if one of your mistakes was mechanical, please pick another mistake, and then ask yourself what the cause and effect of those mistakes were. So let's say a common mistake for you is you're throwing your Molotov into the choke point too early on defense. The cause of that would be you being afraid of the enemy team pushing in. The effect is that the enemy team stalls or rotates, which could have adverse effects depending on how your team reacted to your comms about the enemy team being. Next, you want to define the mistake as clearly as possible. Notice how in the prior example, I didn't say I'm mauling too early. The difference is you're mauling too early when the offense is executing. Those are pretty important distinctions to make, and they'll really help you skim faster when you VOD review later. And if you're going to do additional work by watching pro solo queue VODs, that will also help you skim through their VODs. So when you're defining that mistake, you want to go over 3 things. What is the mistake? Why do you do the mistake? And what happens because of it? You want to keep these plans as simple as possible and as easy to quantify as possible. This will make it easy for you to improve. The reason I'm releasing this video is because I also offer coaching services, and I don't want people who come to my coaching to not know how to do VOD review. It is really that important, and it's a waste of both of our times, me as a coach and you as a client, for us to use a valuable session just to learn how to VOD review. Now, in my coaching, I have a full course that encompasses my entire knowledge on every map and agent, and I also have 2 associate coaches who you get free coaching with through my program that specialize in aim and mental performance. On top of all that, I can confidently say that you will gain, with a money-back guarantee, 150 RR from the time of your first session to 1 week after your last session. If you truly want to improve at Valorant, click the link in the description to schedule a call with me and see if this is right for you. Now, how do you actually do the improving part? I think that improving in Valorant doesn't really happen while you're playing, but it happens while you're analyzing. You playing is really just the application of all the analysis and learning that you've done through watching yourself and others. Now, this watching could have happened in the game, on YouTube, or in your own files. It's really not that complicated when you think about it. Let's take basketball, for example. Nobody got extremely proficient at basketball by just playing basketball. If you want to get better with your crossover, you do crossovers. You take videos of you doing crossover. You see how Allen Iverson does a crossover, or Kyrie Irving, and you say, hey, what are they doing that I'm not? Why is their crossover better than mine? And you copy, and you keep working until you master the crossover. So all you have to do is play the game and analyze after and say, am I making these mistakes less often? Yes or no? And if the answer is yes, you should notice it in your win rate. When you get your mistake frequency down to where it barely ever happens, say once every 3 games or so, then you can move on and do another VOD review of a good game that's 13-8 or closer and get new notes. And you just keep repeating this process over and over and over again as you improve over and over and over again. Take, for example, this same student Laith that I brought up earlier. 1 week before coaching, he played 15 games and he had a win rate of 50%. He went 7-7-1. 1 week after coaching, when I told him to do self-VOD review and all of that, his win rate went up to 60%. He went 9-6. It really is that simple. Laith isn't even one of my full-time students. He paid me 25 bucks. I pointed out his mistakes and I told him how to make good on them. You can do the same and for free. But if you're interested in finding out if coaching is for you, I did post a video on that earlier this week, so go give that a watch.